All right. It's 11 a.m. on the East Coast where I am, and 8 a.m. on the Pacific side. So, good morning or like heading into the afternoon. My name is Rachel. I'm the grounded therapist. I'm coming to you live from my bedroom, which has become my office. So I thought I'd let all the sunshine kind of do the work for me, as far as lighting anyway. So, how are you guys? Um, Let me know in the chat box. There's a whole bunch of people joining in. We're going to be talking about uncertainty, managing distress, dealing with changes, lack of control, because that's what we're all dealing with right now, myself included. I am feeling it, and I am feeling it with my clients. I'm just going to scoot over here. Yeah. I can't let anybody join the live, but you could just be here to leave a comment right there. So like I said, my name is Rachel Doherty. I'm the grounded therapist. I'm a yoga teacher, and I'm also a therapist. Oh, people are already leaving comments. Yeah, so struggling with uncertainty, lack of control, totally. Enjoying working from home. Yeah, there's some really good perks to that, for sure. Looking forward to learning more? Yeah, okay. And we'll jump right into it. I want to give people a couple minutes to join and just talk about myself, just so you have some idea of who this stranger is on this feed talking to you. So I'm a mom, I'm a therapist, I'm a yoga teacher, and I work with women with anxiety in particular. And so this is our time, right? Women and with anxiety. So let's take a couple breaths together to settle in. I am like beyond excited to be here with you all, so I'm a little intense as well. So let's take a breath. We're going to do 3 of those, okay? All right, how'd that feel? Are you a little bit more settled in? I'm actually just going to put my handle down here so you guys can see me a little bit and find out who I am so people don't question that later as they jump on, so everyone can see. And then we'll just jump right in. That's me. And let's see if I can hold this down and pin it. I can't. All right. Oh, yes, I can. There I am. That's me. Pinned. Sweet. All right. Technology. It's happening. All right. So now that we've settled, right, and so my business name is The Grounded Therapist, and that's because I really like grounding, right? I like touching the dirt. I like feeling the floor, noticing the contact points, like where my butt is in my windowsill right now. I like knowing that it's there because I'm originally from New York City, though I live in Connecticut. I live close to the Rhode Island border. I'm in Mystic. And so I come from a stock of speedy talkers who don't listen, who walk really fast, who miss so much because we're so into moving and multitasking and doing all this stuff. Yeah, good. Oh, I'm glad. So people are excited for the content. That's great. And so what I've learned over time is that when we can slow down, when we can breathe, when we can be present with what is, we can get so much more done. Multitasking is a thing of the past. It doesn't work. You're just dividing your attention versus actually doing many things at one time. I promise. There's data on this. I am not making this up. All right. So now that we've grounded, I'm more present, you're more present, the numbers are ticking up here. Let's talk about radical acceptance. Because when times are uncertain, good morning, all we want to do is latch on real tight to everything, right? When my kid is melting down, I want to just say, no, you have to do it my way, which is really unhelpful parenting. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work for myself. It doesn't work for my kiddo. It doesn't work for my clients, right? We try to latch on more. And what we really need to do is latch on less. We need to take a step back and consider what we are really in control of and what we are not. And then we stop kind of throwing little kid tantrums as adults to just be present and accept what is. And we're all kind of collectively having this challenge of mourning the loss of our former lives, right? If you're on the West Coast in particular, you're on like a more critical lockdown than I am. Your freedom, your choices, your access has been cut back severely. And we're really missing that. We miss the ability to go outside and not be afraid, and that we could order things when we want to order them and they arrive when they're supposed to arrive, and toilet paper's on the shelves, and people have the things that they need to access for the most part. Right? We're mourning that collectively. We're having a grief experience. And so what we need to do is practice acceptance of what the situation is. People are getting really sick. We have to stay home to be supportive and help out. Our realities have changed. Maybe your job hasn't changed, right? But it has, right? Switching from working in an office to working at home means there's been a shift. And we can try to wish it away and hope that that's not true anymore, or like tomorrow we're going to wake up and this will all have gone away. But that's just a waste of time and energy. That's all that is. So how do we accept what's going on right now? And mind you, it sounds very controversial, right? Acceptance does not mean not fighting. It doesn't mean not trying to raise money or get, medical supplies to where they need to go. It is about not pretending or wishing or hoping or wasting energy on trying to be what you used to be. We're being accepting of what's going on right now. Right now, we don't get to leave our homes. Right now, essentials are really important. Right now, we are accepting our current reality as it is, right? In every little detail. Acceptance doesn't mean approval. That's right. Thank you. Right? It's not approval of bad behavior, but it might be that you're stuck with somebody you don't like in your quarantine. How do you accept that? Because that will help you stop wasting energy and try to let go of controlling everything. So what are you in control of? I'd like to hear from you guys what you think you're in control of right now as we're embracing acceptance. Thank you, Abil. Yay. Thanks for joining. Anyone want to list what they're in control of right now? It might be nothing. That's not true. No? Anyone? Okay. That's okay. Takes a little time sometimes for the question to get through and people to answer. So if you chime in, that's fine. Oh, food, potentially. Oh, your mood. Here they come. Yeah, your mood. You're in control of what you're doing during the day, your routines. Oh, you guys are doing awesome. How you approach your day, your thoughts. You guys are pros. Okay. Right? Yes, those are the things you're in control of. You're not really in control of who's in your home, unless you're you're not inviting neighbors in. But yes, you are in control of your routine, your breath, when you wake up, what you do during the day, if you move your body, what your mood is like, allowing yourself to cry. You're in control of your moods. They might feel like they come on, and that might be possible as we're grieving right now, right? We're collectively feeling anxious for our friends and our neighborhoods and our lives, but we're also in control of a lot more than we think. I don't know if you guys can hear my dog barking, but he's barking. I'm not in control of that, and I can't do anything about it. So here we are, right? Someone's delivering something near my house, and my dog will not stop barking. So you guys are pros. How do you exert that control is just remembering and sticking to a routine, and that remembering the benefits are long-term versus short-term, right? Having a routine might not feel great today. I had to walk my dog this morning. Didn't want to do it. But I did it. And at the end, when I got back, I felt much better. It was the right thing to do. Plus, dogs need to go out. So routine can feel really good long-term, maybe not always in the short term. All right. I teach yoga, like I said. So let's do a little bit of body movement. You're in control of that too. You're in control of also knowing your body. So if this is uncomfortable or if it hurts in a way that is not safe, right? Like tearing, pulling, don't do it, or do it softer. We're just going to do a gentle twist. And I'm doing it in a windowsill, so I'm pretty sure you could do it. All right, so don't mind the lighting changes. All right, we're going to twist at our core, our center, right? This keeps us upright. This keeps us balanced. This protects our low back as it gets stronger. So this is not about an aesthetic or what your stomach looks like or what emotions and thoughts come up around stomachs. You have a stomach. I really hope you do, because otherwise you're in big trouble, right? That organ is pretty essential. So we're going to twist at our core, not our necks. See how that's working? We're not doing that. We are twisting at our core. And we are placing our left hand by our butts And our right hand is on our thigh, and we're twisting to the left, or my left anyway. Going left. And we're going to do 3 breaths here. And if you're noticing some pulling, don't do it. Just go gentler. So we're twisting at our core. We're looking over where our shoulder was. We're being supported upright. And we're coming back to center. How was that? Can everyone give me a thumbs up? Let me know. I love a good seated twist. You could stand and do these too. You could be on the floor. You do not need to be in a windowsill by any means. Thumbs up. All right, it's happening. Thank you. It's so funny how much of a delay there is. Yeah. All right, so we're going to twist the other way. So we're going to go to my right. Left hand outside of right thigh. Thank you for all the thumbs up. I love it. Right hand goes by our bums to keep us upright. And then we're twisting the other direction. You probably see my funky hair as it grows out. And I'm okay with that. I can't control it. So as we twist from our center, we're not twisting from our shoulders, we're not twisting from our necks. We're twisting from our core, from our belly buttons. We're breathing in and twisting a little deeper with each twist. And releasing to come back. All right, so we're balanced on both sides. That feels super nice. So we're recognizing that we're in control of our mood, of our thoughts, and of how we deal with our bodies. And we're going to accept that. We are accepting that we are really in charge of a lot less than we used to be. We're accepting that we have to exert control over our routines. Good, I'm glad people are saying it feels nice. Awesome, right? So we're in control of how much we move our bodies, how much water maybe we drink, depending on your access to water. We're in control of our thoughts. We're in control of our moods. And so we're actually in control of a lot. It might not be what it was. That's part of the radical acceptance. But we are in control of what is right now, in this moment. And that helps us with uncertainty. And speaking of that, so I'm sure you've heard this, so I hope I'm not being repetitive, but remembering that uncertainty is part of the deal. We live with uncertainty since people existed and evolved, right? There's been uncertain times. We've been through national tragedies before. We've been through global tragedies before. So uncertainty is not brand new. I think being quarantined to my home is new. That's true. But there has been tons of uncertainty in my lifetime. I am over 30. I'm not almost 30, I will admit. So living in New York City, we had a lot of stuff go on in my lifetime, right? There was the first 9/11 attack, or the first Twin Tower attack, right? I was a kid. That scared the crap out of me. Then we had the 9/11 attacks. I'm sure there was stuff in between them that I can't recall. We had the 2008 financial crisis. I lost several jobs. I had to take some really beneath me jobs, and I had to be okay with that, right? There's been a lot of uncertainty. If don't look at your retirement account right now, right? There's ups and downs. There was a day where some code broke and the whole internet kind of crashed, right? Especially the stock market. Like an entire day, things were disappearing, which they actually weren't, right? Uncertainty is part of human existence because we always try to be in control, and yet we're not, right? We've had wars, a lot of uncertainty there. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. We can't predict it, but there will always be uncertainty. There's probably even more examples that I can't think of, but that's the list I have. So we have to embrace that when we're not in control, it feels like we're out of control, but that's not true. All right, we're going to do a breath exercise called square breathing, where I want you to visualize, we're going to visualize a square. It's really not complicated, okay? So we're going to inhale of a count of 3, and you're going to follow my finger going up, right? So we're going to trace a square across the screen. I wish I had one of those cool pens, but I don't. So let's inhale. For 3, across. We hold that air in our lungs for 3. 3, 2, 1. We exhale for 3. 3, 2, 1. We hold that empty lung, which feels really uncomfortable, for 3, 2, 1. That's the square. That forces a better, stronger inhale. We go across. 3, 2, 1. Holding the air in our lungs. Let it out. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold that emptiness. 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. And so as you go around that square, you regulate your breath. Because when we're anxious, we have terrible posture. We hunch, right? We condense our lungs. We get lost in our minds. We try to solve things with our minds. And sometimes we can lead to really shallow breathing, right? Because that bad posture, because our shoulders are in weird places. Sorry, I'm making the lighting look really funny. Right? We do not breathe correctly when we are anxious, when we're upset, when we're worried. And so if you can regulate your breathing, it also helps you manage to not have a panic attack. Because a lot of times what people do is when they are worried, they cross over into a panic attack because of that short, shallow breathing, which leads to hyperventilating. Because when you're breathing like that, you can cause yourself to hyperventilate. And so when you take breaths and you follow the square around, you can regulate your breathing because you force that new inhale, the hold, a nice exhale. And actually, it's a super legal high because you're actually getting all the oxygen you're supposed to have in your body. Is this an exercise to do when you're anxious? Yeah, absolutely. Any of the things, the twisting, right? Anything grounding, and also that breathing exercise. Absolutely. Great question. Right? And you'll notice I'm breathing this entire time, like taking intentional, calm breaths because they help you stay present and manage the uncertainty. So we've talked about breath. We've moved our bodies a little bit. We've talked about radical acceptance and letting go. So let's talk about emotional suffering and then opposite action. Those are the last 2 skills we'll do in our last a little more than 10 minutes here. So opposite action. It's a way of working on our minds because I'm sure they're all in overdrive right now because we love to be able to think. We can think our way out of all the problems. And that's partly true, but also if you're not resting, if you're not relaxing and giving yourself a break, you will not get that solution. Yeah, it slows you down too. Definitely. The breathing is really helpful. And so when we consider making some changes to our minds and trying to stop solutioning ourselves and thinking all night and not getting any sleep, we'll actually get to the solution faster. I have this great story. One of my favorite clients of all time. She was trying to send, before all this went down, a couple of years ago actually, she was trying to ship something to India. That's where her family was from the States. And she didn't sleep for 2 nights, 2 whole nights, because she was trying to figure out how to ship something to India. And it was, these items she was trying to find, and she was going to reroute them and send them to someone who would send them there, and all these concocted plans. And I saw her in that time and I told her she needed to get some sleep. And she realized that she was using Amazon, that they had their own Amazon shipping center in India, and she just had to use that instead of the US one. And actually the package went right out. It was such an easy and obvious answer that she could not get to because she was overthinking, not sleeping, and not taking care of herself, right? She was so solution focused, she couldn't get there. And so I say that with love, that we have to get out of our heads a little bit. And so what I like to do is kind of think about the opposite. That's where opposite action comes from. When we are really worried, we can't be calm because we're too worried. So think of the opposite, right? If you are frustrated, that falls under anger for me, right? If you're frustrated, what's the opposite? Let's call it calm. If there's anything else you guys can pick, right? It's not black and white. The answer is not 2 + 2 is 4. There's no way around that, right? With mental health, with wellness, there's a whole bunch of solutions or a whole bunch of ideas, and I'm open to all of them. But for this example, let's call it calm. And so if we're being calm, what happens if we're not frustrated? For not wishing our kid would calm down, or, that meeting on Zoom, the Wi-Fi didn't go out, or kick the important guest out of the meeting, right? What would happen? We'd be calmer. We would let things go. We wouldn't torture ourselves. Our body would be upright. Our posture would be better. We wouldn't have that like nagging stomach ache, or that headache that starts back here, right? That tension. And we'd be able to think of more creative solutions, like maybe someone else should be the host on the Wi-Fi. Maybe it shouldn't be you, right? Whatever the answer is, that will come when we're being calm. So think about the opposite. You want to be able to think more clearly? Sure. Same thing, it's calming down. So when we're using frustrated, what about sad, right? When we're sad, which I know I've cried a lot of times as this thing has gone down, right? When we're sad, what is the opposite? Could be happy. It could be just calm or peaceful again, right? It could be peace. And so if we're peaceful, what happens to our bodies, right? What does a peaceful person, a calm person look like? Or maybe something else, maybe happy. Maybe it is happy, right? What does a happy person look like? They aren't smushed into a ball on the couch under the covers. They get out of bed. They go do stuff. They enjoy the sunlight, which we haven't had on the East Coast for a few days. It's been really dark and gray. This has been really hard to shift our moods over here, I'm pretty sure, right? So you got to work on thinking about the opposite and kind of working that out in your mind, right? Like, what would a calm person be? What would a happy person look like? How would they act? How would they think? What would they do? What would they feel? And that can really get you out of your head and shift your mood. And then you'll be acting from a place that's happier, calmer, more peaceful. They're at ease. Yeah, right? And so that can really get you out of any funk, any of these challenges we're experiencing, out of the uncertainty right now. We can really work on letting go. So we've got our thought work, got our body movement, got our breath work. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to do one more exercise before I sign off. Any questions about uncertainty, letting go of control, radical acceptance, working on our wise mind, thinking about the opposite, channeling the opposite? Questions about uncertainty, body movement? Just like to offer that space for you guys right now as we wind down our time together. Okay, no questions? That's fine. We can get on to our last exercise here. So we're going to think about, I just want to make sure, what does channeling the opposite do again? Well, it's what we've just talked about, right? It's a way to shift out of your head into a better place, into a calmer place, right? You visualize what you want, right? What you want to be versus what you are, right? If you're in a grumpy, sad mood, right? What would a happy, calm, excited person be, right? That would change your thoughts, because you'll know what would a happy person think? What would a happy person do right now? What would a happy person take action on? What would they be feeling in their body? What mood would they be? What would their posture look like? Right? And so once you can start thinking from that place, you can actually kind of channel that for yourself. But that was a really good question. Thank you. All right. Is there any other questions? Feel free to put them in as we do our last exercise. Let's talk about checking our reality, right? And kind of working through our thoughts. So what is a great thought for today? How about uncertainty, right? There's no future. It's all uncertainty. We're never going to be able to predict a thing ever again, right? It's a good extreme one. I like that. Okay. It came to me because I'm calm. All right. So if we're working through that, what's the evidence that there will never be uncertainty? There will never be certainty ever again. That the future is going to be completely unpredictable and that we'll never know what we're doing. We'll be stuck in our homes forever. So is there any evidence of that? Right now, there might be a little bit, right? There might be some evidence, right? We don't know when this pandemic is going to end. We don't know about our jobs, right? There is a lot of uncertainty. But I do know that things will go on. We will find a cure or a vaccine eventually. People do not like to stay in their homes, and we are going to want to be outside. Like, I think there's going to be a huge, being outdoors, I don't know, revolution, right? We're going to be outside, and we might have to keep some distance from ourselves, but we will return to our offices. We will return to something that looks a little different, but is our new normal. So certainty always happens because uncertainty always happens. So there's evidence that this is not going to be forever. No things are final. They are not. We're the evidence of that, right? Humans who have internet. There couldn't be more evidence that things always change and evolve. And germs are part of that. Viruses are part of that too. And so when we work through our thoughts and we start to break down that evidence on both sides, for and against, I like to think of like Judge Judy. If you're watching, I love you. We're both from Brooklyn. So, right? Judge Judy doesn't take any crap. Not at all. And so if you have to go before her in court, you better have your receipts and your documentation. Right, the law of impermanence. Yeah, and Judge Judy doesn't take any guff, right? So you have to bring really good evidence. And when you start to check your worry thoughts, slowly you will see that they break down and that they really don't have a lot to stand on. Sure, in the short term, maybe there is some evidence that we are going to be stuck in our homes a bit longer. But there's a lot of evidence that we are eventually going to get out because all uncertain times eventually come to end. Wars end, right? Illnesses end. Right? We have taxes to pay and businesses to run, right? Our feelings change too. No feeling is final. Feelings move on. So that's how I know things will change, evolve, and end. And then we work through checking the evidence of our thoughts for and against. And then once we have that and we're like, oh, okay, this might end. Then you can come up with a new thought. Like, okay, this will end. I just don't know when. And I have to roll with that. And that's where the radical acceptance piece comes back around. So the first thing we did was radical acceptance. The last piece we're going to do is radical acceptance in our last 2 minutes here. So we check the facts of our anxious, worried thoughts that feel a little bit out of control with some actual evidence. And then we have the power to make a new thought. Holy crap, right? It's like mind-blowing sometimes. Oh, I can control my thoughts. Oh, I can have new thoughts. That's amazing. So we can rewrite a thought and think it intentionally, start to change it and shift it, especially when we don't think there's much evidence for it. This will end. Okay, then can I hang on a little longer? What can I control? What can I embrace? What can I accept? What can I let go of as far as suffering, right? We're not really in control of a lot, so if we let go of control, we'll be so much happier. And so we have a new thought, and we can embrace that, and we can sit with it intentionally and remember that it's true, even if we're not fully in belief and believing that just yet. Okay, so just a quick review. I'm Rachel, I'm the Grounded Therapist. You could find me at Grounded Therapist on Instagram and on my website, groundedtherapist.com. And I'm so honored to be a part of the Almost 30 Nation. It was so exciting to get that email to invite me to be here and celebrate and be present with you guys through this uncertain time. I hope you have some good skills, so I'll list them again. Radical acceptance, checking the facts. We move our body with some twists at our core to help us sit upright, have more posture, communicate to the world that we are on top of our game and that we are here. We are not curled in a ball hiding under our blankets. Oh, you're so welcome. And we talked about checking the facts, radical acceptance, square breathing, and we talked about grounding. I think that's a pretty good review. There's a lot, and also there's people writing, so it's a lot for my brain. What do I just start a week? You're so welcome. Yeah. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm going to start signing off pretty soon, and but you can find me. I'm out here. And thank you to Almost 30 Nation for having me, and I look forward to more collaborations. Guys, stay safe, please, and take care of each other. This will end like all things do, and we'll move through this. Bye.